Thank you very much, Lauren. Now, the difficulty of access to affordable food may be one of the reasons so many countries in the Arab world are seeing unrest. According to the UN's Agriculture Development Fund, Arab countries are heavily dependent on imported food. That makes them more vulnerable to fluctuations in international commodity markets. About a quarter of the Arab population is poor, with 76% of these people living in rural areas. Higher food prices put more people into poverty. Water scarcity is also a problem and a major obstacle to agriculture, as it's harder for countries to increase their food production. Well, Taysir Al Ghanem is with the International Fund for Agriculture Development of the United Nations. He's the Regional Communications Manager for the Middle East and North Africa. Joins us here in the studio to talk about this issue. Thank you very much for coming into Al Jazeera. So, to what extent do you think these food shortages and these high food prices contribute and are still contributing to the uprisings we're seeing in the region?
You see, hungry people are angry people. And lack of food can affect the psychological status of people, generally speaking. Naturally, the uprising is not cannot be attributed only to lack of food or difficulties in purchasing food for many people. There are many other reasons for it. So, but definitely, Arab countries are heavily dependent on food imports. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they have subsidized, in certain cases, wheat in particular, bread, and that has, to a certain extent, reduced tension, but it is not a long-term solution.
Sure. So now, in terms of food supply today, which country fares better in the region and which is worst off?
You see, the past two agricultural seasons have seen an increase in the Arab wheat production. For example, in 2009, the Arabs have increased, according to the Arab Organization for Agricultural Development, have increased the output from 20 million tons to 26 million tons. So that is a significant increase. Mm-hmm. Yet there is also an increase in population. The demand is on the increase. This is why we have large imports nowadays. The Arab countries to collectively import for a value of more than $14 billion. So
you'd say that a country such as Libya today, of course, is worst case scenario?
Well, Libya is in a war situation at the moment, but even before the war, it was importing more than 70% of its needs from outside.
Now, one major problem that's often cited also is rural migration to urban centers and the erosion of the local agriculture sector. So my question is, why not invest in the agriculture sector in this region so as to boost local food production and at the same time create jobs?
Exactly. This is exactly what we are demanding, what we are proposing, that an increased investment in agriculture is imperative. Not only to combat the migration from rural areas to urban areas, but also to create jobs. As you know, 1/3 of the Arab population at the moment is under the age of 24, and it is forecast to increase. There is demand for jobs. There is a huge unemployment rate in the Arab regions, and the agricultural sector can be the sector that generates employment.
And where would a revival of the agriculture sector work? Where would it be more effective?
Well, the agricultural sector at the moment is facing a lot of difficulties, including water scarcity. Mm-hmm. This is one of the biggest problems in the area. As you know, we have 5% of the world population, yet the Arab region has only 1% of the world's renewable water resources. So water scarcity is on the increase. Precipitation is decreasing in the Arab world. So water management plays a key role in acquiring more land. But we have been able, through agricultural projects. For example, in northern Egypt, West Nubaria has created jobs for unemployed graduates, for example, giving them opportunities to plant reclaimed desert land and create an economy in areas which did not exist before.
Okay, very interesting indeed. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Taysir Al Ghanem of the International Fund for Agriculture Development of the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you.